62 million men.
62 million men.
62 million men.
62 million men.
62 million motherfucking men.
If you have been on the social media for the past few days, you probably came across videos that claim that 62 million men attended online RAPE Academy. So what actually happened? On March 26, 2026, CNN published an article that deals with a very serious issue: drug-facilitated sexual abuse, hidden online communities, survival stories, and the way these spaces help men exchange tactics on how to abuse women and avoid detection. And it is not some cheap clickbait story. It is a real investigation with real reporting work behind it, real interviews, and real victims at the center of it. So genuinely, I encourage people to actually go and read that article. But then something very frustrating happened online. Something that almost discredited the great and important work those journalists did. A lot of influencers took that story and turned it into something else. They started saying that 62 million men visited a global RAPE academy. And of course, that spread like fire. With a claim like that, how can it not? But then people started looking into it more closely and saying, wait a second, something here doesn't sound right. And that is where the whole thing starts falling apart. Because first of all, it was not 62 million men. The viral claim was taking a visits number and turning it into men. Second, it talked about the visits on the porn site, overall visits, not separated by gender, specific category, or any other way. Third, the specific RAPE Academy element people were talking about was tied to a Telegram group that the report describes as being around 1,000 members, which is still disgusting, still horrifying, but it is obviously not the same as saying 62 million men attended some online course in RAPE. So look at how big the distortion is. The number goes from 62 million men to 62 million site visits, to unspecified visits to the overall porn platform, to one specific Telegram group of around 1,000 participants. That is not a small mistake. That is not a little wording issue. That is a massive misrepresentation of what people were actually looking at. And then, of course, some of the people who spread it came back with the usual defense. Who cares if it was men or visits? Who cares if the number was wrong? Who cares if it was misrepresented? What matters is the message. No, that is not how this works. Because the message does matter, but the facts matter too. And this is my issue with it. The original CNN story is already serious enough. You do not need to inflate it. You do not need to lie on top of it. You do not need to turn it into a slogan that sounds better on social media. If you actually care about the issue, then you should care about getting it right. Because when you spread blatant misinformation, you are not helping women. You are not helping victims. You are not helping awareness. You are making it easier for people to dismiss the whole subject and say, here we go again. More fake outrage, more fake numbers, more agenda pushing. And that is the issue here. The journalists did real work. They investigated a real and ugly problem. They spoke to real victims. They put together a serious article. And then a bunch of influencers took that work, ripped the nuance out of it, replaced it with a viral claim, and started acting like accuracy no longer matters because their intentions are supposedly good. But good intentions do not excuse false information. In fact, when the topic is this serious, accuracy matters even more. So yes, read the article, talk about the problem, raise awareness, criticize the platforms, demand better enforcement, but do not tell everyone that 62 million men attended RAPE Academy when that is not what the reporting showed. Because once you start doing that, you are no longer informing people, you are manipulating them. And in the process, you are undermining the very cause you claim to support.